Alrighty then. Let us see what we got here. I don't really know what I'm going to talk to you about this morning, but I have stayed good and I have recorded videos every day this week. I haven't uploaded any of them because I've been busy with literally everything else, but I'm doing good stuff. I'm getting good feedback from people about Compression Man. Like I said, I may not get a lot of interaction from people, but I do get a decent amount of interaction, and all the interactions that I get are very positive. So that's awesome. I'm excited about that. I got another comment last night that had some really nice things to say. And then episode 4 is now done. It's wrapped up with a bow on it, and that's exciting. So it's slated for a September 20th release. I need to continue promoting episode 3. I have a bad habit of dropping content and then just moving on. And so, like, for example, I do this a lot with my books too, is I'll release a book and then just move on with my life and never talk about it again, and then wonder why it never got any sales past its launch date. And it's kind of the same thing with these Compression Man episodes. I really would like to hype it up more as we prepare for the new release. And so it's like I should spend the rest of August pumping out promotions for the episode that just dropped, whereas spend all of September building up the episode that's about to come out, and then get a better advertisement marketing strategy around that, if you will. And so hopefully we'll see what we can accomplish. I'm thinking that if I can just throw a bunch of stuff at it, eventually something will stick. But it's just interesting to look at it in that light, because like I just finished episode 4, and so now I'm like, I've got to watch I've got to promote episode 4. And I was like, bro, like episode 3 hasn't even been out for a week yet. Let's let it simmer. Let's get people watching it. Tell them like, hey, if you haven't already checked out episode 3, go check it out. And then here comes episode 4 in September, and I might transform my Instagram page into more of a Compression Man page. But at any rate, yeah, I just need to get better about releasing or continuing to promote things after they've been released. These promotions are killing my watch times. I'm getting a lot more views now on episode 3 organically than I was getting before, but my watch times are just absolute garbanzo beans, and I don't know what to do in order to keep that from happening. Can't get people past the 30-second mark, and I want to upload these marathons. And so what I might do is upload a marathon that excludes the intro, goes right into the episode, and then it's just like boom, 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 episode. And that might very well be what I have to do in order to get through my issues. So only time will tell, honestly, what it is that I need to do to get through to these things. But I think at the end of the day, that is a pretty safe bet that I should be more aware of the down slope of things and be like, okay, this is out. Now I need to continue to promote it, continue to get it going. I'll be interested. I followed this other person's advertisement strategy to the T, and I'll be interested to know if their strategy works for me or not. They say that it's better for getting engagement because the other strategies just kill your watch time, which is true. My watch time is hot garbage right now. And I think a lot of that is just finding my audience. Once I have found my audience, or my audience has found me, then I can go ahead and get them all together, and hopefully they will feed me a better watch time. And it'll take time to build that audience. I'm at like 50 subscribers right now, and even still, like, I just released episode 3 to an organic market, and I got a whole lot of nothing for it. So I'll need to be patient, and I'll need to continue to grow an audience so that when people notice that there's a new episode up, they go and they watch it right off the bat, and I don't have this whole episode launching to 0 viewers thing. And it was unfortunate because, like, the first 30 people to watch the video, you could tell they were really invested because their retention was very high. It's the highest it's ever been. I had like a 68% retention when the video first came out. Now I'm getting a lot of natural traffic from the advertisement on these other videos, but the natural traffic is getting me more views, but it's tanking my average view rate. And it's unfortunate because it's like, these aren't long videos. It's not like I have a 20-minute video and someone's like, ugh, I don't have 20 minutes to invest in this right now. It's like, this is a 5-minute video. People don't even have 5 minutes to invest in it. Like, people's time is valuable. I understand that. I wish that there was more people in the world like myself who is willing to give things a shot or give things a try. The market of TV in general has changed. I don't even have that long of an intro. It's like a 20-second intro. But because of the creative vision that I wish to uphold, I refuse to take it out. And so what that means for me is I now have this vision of all these people that are watching my content, enjoying it, and making it past this 20-second intro. But the reality is no one seems to be making it past that point. But like, I have this creative vision that it's going to be a cartoon in the traditional sense. It's not going to be this crazy, what do they call it, like modern media, where it just cuts every 5 seconds. Like, it's going to be a slower pace. It's going to be something that you can kind of sit down and watch to, because it's just a 5-minute short. If I made this 5-minute short this crazy hyper energy thing, then I don't think it would be it wouldn't be what I want it to be. And perhaps that's the problem, is I'm not marketing to modern children. Modern children, I guess, enjoy rapid stimuli, whatever you want to call it. But I personally lean more towards the calmer, more regular stimuli. Like Scooby-Doo, for example, is not a massively high-paced cartoon. It doesn't attack your senses, but it was also a much lower budget cartoon, much older, yada 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 yada. But then I look at another cartoon like Johnny Test. Someone did a example of how many sound effects play within like the first 30 seconds of a Johnny Test show. And Johnny Test, by comparison, is relatively old as well now. But the amount of sound effects that they had going on was insane. It was insane. And it's like, is that what it takes to retain a child's attention in the modern market, in the modern age? And it's unfortunate if the answer to that question is yes. but it is maybe cartoons now are not specifically targeted to children. My cartoon is not so adult that it's specifically targeted to adults either. I really wanted to make a family-friendly cartoon that was probably good for like older kids, ages 5 to 8 or so. 10, like 8, 9, and 10 would be pushing it, and 3 and 4 would be pushing it. But I think that sweet range of 5, 6, 7, and 8 would be a good range to shoot for my cartoon, appealing to those kids. Scooby-Doo is the kind of thing that I like to bring it out to, and I say that it's family entertainment. It's not something that is exclusive to any given age group, which is dangerous, because if you don't have a target audience, then what the heck are you doing with your life? But I truly believe there is value to be had in a cartoon that you can sit down and watch with your family and not have to worry about, oh, is this too mature for my kid, or oh, is this too immature for me? It's something that everyone can enjoy. And the other thing is, there are I use a lot of Looney Tune level violence in Compression Man, and people respond to that differently in today's market. And so some people might see that and be like, oh my gosh, that's super offensive. And other people might see that and be like, oh, that's funny and refreshing, because no one does this kind of stuff anymore. And that's just the nature of the game. You have to have your creative vision, and you have to stick with it, and you've got to hope that it sticks, and that it doesn't become something that the world loathes because it's teaching children bad things. Right off the rip, I told my animator that it's like, I want to emphasize cartoon violence. It's not going to be this gory, graphic cartoon. And like, I have an episode. There's a bank robbery episode where people will get shot in this episode, and I don't want it to be this nasty, traumatic incident of someone getting shot. It's just like this funny thing. Like, I always go back to Looney Tunes. Like, people get shot in Looney Tunes, and these ridiculous things happen to them when they get shot, and then they move on. And that's funny to me. Slapstick humor is funny, but we live in a world where any sort of gun violence is a very sensitive topic, and so making a cartoon where gun violence is comedic is, I feel like, a risky and dangerous thing to do. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of instances of that, but there is still instances of it, and so it's just a matter of feeling it out. And I think that and that's the other thing, is like, there's two sides to every story. There's the camp of people who might find it to be offensive or too aggressive, too what's the word I'm looking for? Too violent. But there's also the camp of people that will find it to be perfectly fine. And you have to hope that you can walk that line, and that there's enough people who find it perfectly fine to accept it. And the other thing is like, any successful creative thing has existed with its healthy level of controversy. And so it's like, even Harry Potter. Like, Harry Potter they wanted to ban the books because they thought it condoned witchcraft, which it doesn't condone witchcraft. People wanted to ban Pokemon because they thought that it condoned animal abuse. And it's all of these actually nice and friendly cartoons. Well, I don't know that Harry Potter is a nice and friendly cartoon. That's a bad example, but it's not bad. It's not promoting witchcraft. But at any rate, it's all of these things that don't have those sorts of meetings, and when they start to come to popularity and they start to take over the world, people are quick to try and cut them out at the knees. And I think that is worth saying, that if you're getting that sort of attention, then it's not necessarily bad. They always say any attention is good attention, and I do believe that. I feel like the worst thing you can do in the modern age is ignore something, and if you ignore it, then it's truly being damaged. And like all of these works of media that people put out that are all controversial, and they get the whole world up in arms and everybody's hating on it, and they're like, I can't believe they did that. Like those sorts of things, if you truly are offended by it, then ignore it. Because watching it on Netflix just so that you can make fun of it or dislike it or whatever is still interactions. And at the end of the day, people get paid. It's the advertisements is where the money is to be made, and marketing and all of those things. So you've already paid your subscription fee, and if you're paying the subscription fee that makes you see ads, then you've already run your ads for that show because you watched them. And so it doesn't matter if you liked it or not. You saw what they paid for you to see, which is the commercials, not the TV show. The TV show gets you in front of the commercials, and that's the way that this modern business works. Is you create something popular that people want to see, and then advertisements or advertisers give you something that they want to sell. And that is the way in which it works. I feel like I just worded it in a really healthy and smart and intelligent way, and now I can't even think to reword it. But go back by like 30 seconds and you'll see what I mean. But it's an interesting dichotomy, and the more and more I look at it and invest into seriously trying to advertise something, the more and more I realize the amount of money that goes into it. And like at the same time as I'm doing all of this, I was watching a video with Matt Damon, and they're asking him why they don't make the movies that they used to make back in the day. And it was completely unrelated, but something that he brought up in his answer like was eye-opening to me. And he said that he's like, well, back then, say it costs $5 million to make a movie, and then you're going to need another $5 million in marketing, and then from there you're going to have to make at least $10 million to break even. But if you really want like a major profit, you're probably going to need to make like $50 million, because you got to split it between all these different people. And he was like, back then that was more doable because the profit split was like, if you didn't make up your full profit, like if you needed $50 million and you got $20 million in the theaters, you still had the DVD release, which would hopefully get you another $20 million from the people who watched it in theaters and enjoyed it, and then that's where you'd make your money. Now that physical media is gone, DVD is no longer a thing, they can't lean on that. But what I got out of that was the cost of marketing. He basically said that the cost of their product, or the thing that they made, they had to spend the same amount of money in to advertise it. And it's wild, but it makes sense. So, at any rate, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.